It was a good feeling. I felt like it was about time.
Back in the 90s, Trina was one of the biggest female rappers around, but what's happened to her since then? Recently, Trina talked to Young Miami about where her life has taken her, and she has never opened up like this before. From tragic family losses to touching tributes, you guys will be shocked when you hear what Trina talked about. Trina was speaking on the Carisha Please podcast about a wide range of topics. They started off by talking about Trina's recent appearance at the 2022 BET Awards. She talked about how glad she was to be finally given her flowers with the I Am Hip Hop honor. In her acceptance speech, Trina became visibly emotional when thanking her mom for everything she had done. In her conversation with Young Miami, Trina talked about what a good feeling it was to receive the honor. She also admitted that the news of her award came to her at pretty short notice. But although the news came as a little bit of a shock at first, Trina said that it was a good feeling, especially coming from BET. And I don't think there would be any people out there who would disagree that Trina deserved the honor. She's been an important figure in hip-hop for more than 25 years now. When asked about the secret to her success and her amazing confidence, Trina had this to say. Once she got into the industry, it just made her more and more confident. It helped her to stay true to who she was. This must have been great advice for any young female artist to hear from a legend like Trina. But for Young Miami, it must have been especially inspiring. And the reason why Trina has always been so important to Young Miami might shock you. It turns out that Trina and Young Miami are pretty much related. Trina is actually the City Girl rapper's godmother. In 2018, Young Miami described what their relationship was really like in an interview on Power 99. She told Roxy Romeo at Cappuccino that Trina and her mom were friends back in the day, and that Trina had pretty much raised her. Trina told the Shade Room that Young Miami would often come in her mom's shop and get her hair done, and honestly, that must have helped give her some inspiration when she started out on her own rap journey. Both rappers have always had a close connection to their hometown of Miami. In fact, when Trina came onto the scene, she made a name for herself as the Queen of Miami, and she even gave the city a shout out in her I Am Hip Hop honor speech. The same year, Trina received another special honor when she was given the key to the city, and she even got her own special day in Miami called Trina Day, which proved just how strong Trina's legacy has always been down in her home city. Trina got to do some really amazing things thanks to her successful career. However, after her stardom peaked in the early 2000s, she also experienced some real tragedy in her personal life. Her status in hip-hop brought her around some of the biggest names in music, and for a while, she was one half of one of the craziest power couples in rap. Between 2005 and 2007, she was in an on-again, off-again relationship with Lil Wayne. In 2005, Trina announced on the Wendy Williams show that she and Lil Wayne had gotten engaged. However, things fell apart for the couple in 2007. Before it all eventually came to an end, something even more devastating happened to Trina. It was reported that Trina had suffered a miscarriage. In 2006, she was rushed to the hospital and into the emergency room. According to a private nurse, she had cried out for Lil Wayne and even prayed to God to take her instead of her kid. The news was truly heartbreaking. In the years since then, Trina has stayed pretty quiet about her loss, but in her conversation with goddaughter Young Miami, Trina finally felt comfortable revealing more about what she went through, and what she said came as a horrible shock. Trina revealed that this was not the only time that she lost a child. In a truly revealing moment, she admitted how much these losses impacted her. Trina went on to say that she didn't really understand how she was meant to feel after her first miscarriage. This was because she said she was much younger at the time. After the second miscarriage, she started to wonder what it all meant, and after the third, she started to worry that there was a serious problem with her. But then something else happened that completely took her attention away from those questions. But unfortunately, that something was another equally heartbreaking situation. After her mom got sick, she no longer felt the same way about having kids that she did before. Trina admitted that the idea of having a kid who wouldn't know their grandma was not one that she was on board with, and it totally changed her outlook. Trina has always spoken so highly of her mom, so it was no wonder that she got so emotional when talking about her at the BET Awards. It really seems like Trina has seriously matured. She now only wants to put positivity out into the world, and despite their ups and downs, she has had only good things to say about her ex Lil Wayne. In an episode of Drink Champs last year, she told Noor and Def EFN that Lil Wayne had always been a great person to her, and that he was one of the most honest guys she'd ever met. A decade after ending things with Lil Wayne for good, Trina found love with someone else. In 2017, she started dating former college basketball star Raymond Taylor, and they got engaged in 2021. Throughout the relationship, Raymond has made many appearances alongside Trina on her reality show. Trina has been one of the original stars of Love and Hip Hop Miami since it started in 2018, and her time on the show had some pretty explosive moments. One episode saw her at the heart of a full-on brawl. When Nicki Natural was dating her friend Trick Daddy, Trina went crazy after Nicki cursed at her. Trina and her other castmates flew at Nicki and attacked her. Eventually, the police had to be called to the scene. She made it clear that she was not to be disrespected. Respect has always been something that Trina took really seriously. Young Miami asked her if she felt that new artists should pay homage to those that come before. We all knew what her answer would be. She explained that especially as a woman, it was the respectful thing to do, which must have been another reason why Trina was so overwhelmed to receive the I Am Hip Hop Award, which validated her own contribution to the culture. However, the last person she dedicated her award to in her speech was probably the biggest reason Trina was so emotional. Through tears, she dedicated the honor to her niece Suga, and the reason why was truly shocking. Just a few months before the BET Awards, Suga tragically lost her life in a shooting in Miami. And around midnight in July, police were called to Northwest 13th Avenue and 62nd Street, where Suga had been fatally injured. She was only 17 years old at the time. Police examined a black Mercedes that had reportedly been hit by multiple bullets. Suga was with her boyfriend and one other person at the time, both of whom were also hurt in the attack. No arrests were immediately made. In May of this year, Trina announced that she would be holding an event to raise awareness of firearm violence in her niece's honor. The event would be called Welcome to Sugarland. So while Trina has remained busy and respected in the industry, her life has also been scarred by an unbelievable amount of sadness. But what do you guys think about all this? Did you know how much tragedy the influential rapper has had to go through? Let me know in the comments below.